Hey everybody, it's Astro D, and in this video I want to talk about what happens when you meet an amazing person, yet they have Pluto in aspect to your Venus. I used to think like this was cool. I really did. I used to be like really excited when I would see this matchup. It could be the worst square, and I would still get little butterflies. In this video, I want to talk about the good and the bad aspects concerning Venus and Pluto, and I also want to talk about why I think a lot of people are so attracted to this aspect. When I tell you, when looking up search words in the YouTube, everybody wants to know about Venus Pluto. It's really intense, and I think that there's something behind this. I would be like, oh, that means that this person is really gonna be intensely in love with me. Maybe they'll never leave me. But that's not the case. Power and control. We're dealing with people's ability to be able to control themselves within their partnerships, or their ability to try to control their partner. The narcissist could be a victim situation. This compelling, can't stop thinking about you, obsessive type of energy. Pluto is the older planet, imposing this onto Venus. Always know it's really Venus that has the battle for their life. Personally, I don't like any of the aspects between Pluto and Venus anymore. None of them. Not even the trine. I don't even want that. Now, for some people will feel like the trine between Pluto and Venus is their dream match. I'm not saying that this isn't for everybody. A Venus in Scorpio would absolutely love this. There's certain things within your chart that would make you really appreciate this type of experience. It's applying pressure to Venus to change. Pluto likes to change things, however, through destruction. It's the ability to want to control a relationship, to understanding of it, which is where the depth comes from, because if I understand it, I can mold it. You have a Pluto experience with somebody, a Venus-Pluto experience in the chart with somebody. I think that the universe is telling you it's time for you to change, and because you won't change, you're going to have a brutal change. Because a lot of it does not stem from love. We're not dealing with love. We're not dealing with Leo's energy. We're not dealing with Pisces energy type of love. We're not dealing with or type of love experience for Venus. This could possibly even be a violet love experience, but I haven't even gotten to the aspects yet. This experience is attracted to and attracted by trauma. The time in my life that I thought this aspect was cool is when I was going through the most trauma in my life. If you in your life, in your childhood, you didn't get enough love and attention, and if you haven't got it since you was a child, there's a high chance that you're not getting it as an adult. So if that's the case, then you would be attracted to a Venus-Pluto situation. Love bombing doesn't seem like love bombing. Suffocate me with love. Kill me with your love. Or it's not necessarily love, see, it's more attraction and obsession. Don't think you've met your husband or your wife if you've seen Venus-Pluto, like, oh, we're just going to be passionately in love with each other. That person is going to be passionate, could be passionately attracted to you or repulsed by you. But the whole point that I think I'm making with this section here, trauma attracts you to these types of relationships. If you're starving, if you're unfulfilled emotionally or in your relationships, you love these because of the constant attention. See, that's where the narcissist and the victim have their dance. In narcissism, the person wants to have control and power over the other person. They may have been abused or they may have gone through something horrible or trauma in their life, and now they're regaining their power, trying to get their power back through the Venus person. The way the Venus person presents themselves, finances, their attractiveness, the pleasure side of them. A little bit of love, more so the wanting of a partnership. We got to always remember, just because somebody wants to be in a relationship with you, do they love you? Do they care for you? Or do they just want to own you? Do they just want to control you? Do they just want to puppet? What's the condition of that person's Pluto in their actual natal chart? Because I wonder my damn self, if your natal Pluto is, let's say, squaring Venus in your own personal chart, red flag. Red flag, y'all. Take it how you want to, do what you want to do with it. But for me, that's a red flag. Either they're finding really controlling people, they're finding really toxic narcissistic people, or they are a toxic narcissist. So far, in my experience, when I see people with Pluto square aspects in their chart, they've exhibited narcissistic behavior. Again, narcissism is about power, control, and manipulation. And I used to always say, there's no good or bad to manipulation. Manipulation isn't a good or bad word. You could manipulate crackhead into being a sober person, right? I say these things, but I think about it deeper. Manipulation, and then you have helping someone change. They're two different things, because manipulation is the change against someone's will. So yeah, you can take that crackhead and make them straight, but did they want to be a non-crackhead? They really want to be that sober? Was that their dream? If it wasn't something that they really wanted, you interfered. And, you know, sending love to those who do have it natally. I'm not saying everybody that got it natally is a narcissist or is toxic in their relationships. They have control over your relationships. You might find that your relationships change on a positive note. Maybe you're hanging out with more powerful people. Maybe you're able to attract more powerful relationships. Now, business and friendship is different, I think, than love and relationships. You don't want to do anything, or you don't want to partner up with anybody to do anything when they are not a whole unit themselves, because they're going to just give you pieces. Whether it's a group, it's a writing group, it's an acting group, whatever it is, creative group or business group, everybody's got to pull their weight. Shoot, they might be just attracting more narcissists in them, more sketchy characters, evil people. It could be that friend that sets you up to be in a bad situation. It represents evilness. Pluto's healing comes with pain. That's when we say, oh, I don't like this aspect anymore. You're sitting in the therapy office and your life is flipped upside down and you thought it was this cute, passionate thing, but no, it was a sign that your life was about to change. And if you're not a person that wants change, this is why Scorpio opposes Taurus. Taurus isn't really that big on change. And Scorpio's like, let's bring it. Let's bring the change. Scorpio and Taurus oppose each other. So if you're not ready for change and you're trying to stay steady in life, and you see this aspect coming, leave them alone. Put it down. But if you've been stuck in a rut in your life, and you're bored, and you see a trine Pluto, then that's your person. That's your person that's gonna break you out of that. That's really gonna dig out the garbage to take you out of it. Pluto is also able to suck in. It's magnetic. So, of course, I always talk about the traditional Venus is going to be attracted to Pluto. They have this karmic tie. Pluto is forever attracted to Venus. Venus is constantly, will never forget Pluto. These are the people that you never freaking forget in your life because of the imprint. Remember, they're there to change it. So that's why we don't ever forget these people. Volcanic eruption in our life is Pluto coming there. On a positive note, it can empower Venus. Now, Venus has a challenge. Venus is going to need a lot of self-discipline. See, again, self-control and self-discipline are always played. You got to know when to say no. You got to say no. You have to, again, just like the 12th house, you have to have these spiritual type of planets like this, like Neptune and Uranus and Pluto and Saturn, boundaries. Saturn is the enforcer of the boundaries. Pluto, you're going to have boundaries with Pluto too. Pluto, you might have to stand up and stop from messing with you. Because now you got the stalker when we get to this square. I never in my life have I ever seen anything good come from it, of course, other than the lesson that the person learns. I'm sorry for y'all that have the square. If I saw that shit in your chart, I would be like, watch out. I swear, I used to continue on. I really did. I shut it down immediately with the square. I've seen the way people act. It's like a love-hate thing. Never, it's a bottomless pit. It's never fulfilled with what you're giving it unless you're in total submission to it. This is officially the place that I do not recommend that you go under no circumstance. But we go there. We tend to go there. Sometimes we can't get the correct birth time. Sometimes we just are just so enthralled by the experience. And that's the point. That's the whole freaking point about Pluto Venus aspects. It's a deep attraction, so it's very difficult for you to just say, oh no, I'm not going to get involved with this. I'm not going to do this because, you know, Astro D said it was wrong, and I know in my astrology studies it's not good. It's not that easy. Here you got to just say no and walk away, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how much that intrigue of that energy gets you. This is danger zone. Could be cruel, it could be torturous. This could lead to someone losing a tremendous amount of money. The Pluto person could be committing some type of fraud in Venus's name, you know, filing bad checks or something like that, doing some type of nefarious criminal activity with Venus's money or with Venus's beauty. The pimp and the prostitute type of situation. This person could be pimping you out in some form. Now, Venus is on your ascendant, then yeah, they could be pimping out your body. Okay, if Venus is in your second house, they're pimping out your valuables, something that you have in your own. Now, this is the square. So they could be taking something that you have and reselling it or demoralizing it, demoralizing your value, earning wealth through demoralizing your value. You will feel less value, but they will get value from you feeling less value, if that makes sense. I wish this didn't have to get so dark. Pluto is destroying Venus. Pluto is now, this is all destructive qualities. You're looking for the higher vibration. No, Pluto is bringing its lower vibrations to Venus. So let's say Venus is in Aries and Pluto is squaring Venus. So Pluto is going to take away Aries' ability to fight. Aries may come into a situation where they'll fight Pluto physically and may find that all their strength, they thought they were stronger than they were, but they're really not. Now, that Aries person has to come up. That Aries Venus is going to have to come up and reestablish their own value. They're always fighting for their value. The Venus is in Aries. If that Venus is in Taurus, it's going to be almost a similar fight, but now it's really specifically your money. Pluto is coming for that paper, and Pluto is coming to change how you make money. Now, I am absolutely sure there is going to be a ton of you in the comments saying that you're in a Pluto square Venus relationship and everything is peachy keen. Thank you. Wonderful for being a part of the 1%. The 1%. Pay attention to the orbs. I like to give this orb, I give it a lot of space. I give this 8 to 10 degrees orb versus the usual 5 to 6. This one gets 8 to 10 from me because it's too potent. It's just too damn potent. It's like the color red. Literally, with this color, if you add red to something, you better add a little bit of red. Red is no joke. And that's how it is with Pluto. Is there an upside to Pluto square Venus, y'all? There's no upside to it. Pluto is definitely captivating Venus, holding Venus in obsession. That's the other. Pluto's obsessed with Venus's beauty. Venus is obsessed with Pluto's sense of power. How is it that you have any power over me? I know you guys been in situations where like people have had like this tremendous amount of power over you. You just can't figure out what it is. These are the people that you have to just escape from. I try to tell them, I say, hey, if we ever get into a battle, okay, I'm just gonna disappear. I'm just gonna disappear. I'm not gonna tell you what happened. I'm not gonna explain myself to you. I'm just going to disappear, okay? Some fights, some battles are not worth it because it's kind of like the snake trying to pull the knife. Oh, knife, you cut me, I'm gonna strangle you to death. And the snake squeezes itself to death on the knife. It doesn't work, okay? You're going to pass away in some way by trying to defeat this situation. So basically, the longer you stay in battle, the closer you are to the unaliving. This is sexual assault as well. Really, Pluto to Mars, I think the square is one of the worst. If you're looking for love and you meet somebody with this square, no. At least take caution when you see that you have a square. And I know we feel like we can handle anything and we got this. But if you feel like you can't be manipulated, you gone. It's the first way you get manipulated. Don't think you can. I don't recommend at all. I don't recommend at all this aspect that you date someone that has the aspect of Pluto squaring your Venus, Pluto opposing your Venus. Sextile is decent. The conjunction, I would test out. The square, I don't test that no more. My days of testing out the square is over. But the conjunction, I probably would go forward. If I'm messing, I really liked them and it was a conjunction and I saw that their Pluto was decent and their aspects were decent, I would try it out. It may enhance the relationship. You're finding that it's difficult for you to find a partner all your life, and then you meet somebody that has Pluto conjuncting your Venus, then this could be the time that everything changes and that you actually start to meet lovers that are really good for you. And again, you might meet some obsessive ones. I think this came out pretty cute. I hope you guys like it, and take care.